Good day. So now I will discuss to you the answers for our quiz last week, King Court's apartment. Now let's start. The following information was provided by the records of the King's Court Apartments, a sole proprietorship business at the end of December 31 to 200B. So dito sa given natin, meron tayong ditong revenue, salary expense, and the supplies used. Let's go to the requirement. Ano bang hinihingi ng problem? In conformity with the revenue and matching principles, compute the amounts that should be reported on King Court's 200B statement of comprehensive income. So ang question dito, ibigay lang daw natin yung amounts for revenue and for salary expense as well as the maintenance supplies expense. And for our requirement number 2, check the items that would need an adjusting entry at the end of 100B and indicate whether the checked item is an accrual or deferral. So to answer the requirements, para isahan na lang, input natin yung requirement for number 1, yung revenue, the salaries expense, the maintenance supplies expense, kung yung item ba na binigay kailangan ng adjusting entry, and if kailangan, is it an accrual or deferral? So let's start with letter A. Rent revenue collected during 200B or 200B occupancy credited to rent revenue account. So since yung hinahanap ng problem or yung requirement ng problem is for the year, this is 2000B. For the 2000B, so 2000B lang dapat yung concern natin. Sa letter A, may na-collect daw na 512,000. Tapos, nung nag-record siya, kinedit niya sa rent revenue account. So, tama yung ginawa niya. Sabihin, itong 512,000, kasali ito sa rent revenue. So, input natin, sa letter A, rent revenue is 512,000 pesos. Again, revenue lang muna tayo ha. Revenue is from A to C. Wala tayo dito. So, ang next question, kailangan ba natin ng adjustment? So, ang sabi sa problem, na-record niya naman daw. Tama naman yung pagka-record. Ibig sabihin, no adjustment is necessary. So, sabi dun sa problem or sa requirement, lagyan lang ng check kung kailangan ng entry. Since hindi naman, leave lang natin ating adjusting entry and sa ating accrual or deferral since walang adjusting entry. Next, letter B, rent revenue earned for occupancy in December 2000B will not be collected until 2000C. So baka magtaka kayo, yung year niya para siyang naka-alphabetize or alphabetical. Nag-start ng 2000B, and the next year 2000C, next year 2000D. Ganyan siya. So, sabi dito sa letter B, meron daw tayong na-earn na rent revenue for 2000B, but it will not be collected until 2000C. So, ibig sabihin, na-earn na natin pero hindi pa tayo nakakolect. Sabihin yan, meron tayong rent receivable. So, kung babalikan natin yung ating ito, since na-earn na natin siya, dapat i-record na siya as revenue. So, madadagdag siya sa revenue natin, which is 16,000. Revenue po usapan, wala pa tayo dito. Next, kailangan ba siya ng adjusting? So, since hindi naman sinabi, rent revenue earned, tapos hindi pa natin na-collect, malamang mag-entry tayo niyan for our adjustment. So, answer natin dito, yes, kailangan. Tapos, is it an accrual or deferral? So, since receivable yung ating i-record, ang kanyang classification as adjustment is an accrual. Accrual. Tapos, kung magtatanong kayo, ano pong entry niyan? Entry natin, debit tayo ng rent receivable of 16,000 and credit tayo ng rent revenue of 16,000 pesos. Again, ganito yung entry natin kasi nga na-earn na natin. Ibig sabihin, magre-record na tayo ng income or etong yung rent revenue. And since hindi pa natin siya mako-collect until next year, 2000C, so ibig sabihin receivable pa natin siya. Kaya ganito yung entry natin. And that is under accrual type of adjustment. Next, letter C. On December 2000B, collected rent revenue in advance for January 2000C. So, sa letter C, nakakollect daw tayo ng para sa renta in advance, pero yung binayad na yon is para sa next year pa, January 2000C. So, since ang pinag-usapan natin is 2000B pa lang, so dapat hindi siya kasali dito sa ating total revenue kasi nga eto for 2000B. Yung nasa letter C for next year pa yun, 2000C, siya kasali dito na amount. Pero kung titingnan natin, balik tayo, no? Letter C, credited to rent revenue account. Na-i-add na daw ito sa ating rent revenue account, which is mali. So, dapat tanggalin natin yan kasi nga next year pa yan ma-earn. Kasi advance natin siyang na-receive. So, dapat tanggalin natin siya dito as revenue. Kailangan ba natin ng adjusting entry? Yes. Kasi unang-una, yung initial entry niya na ginawa or yung journal entry niya na ginawa, nag-debit siya ng cash kasi naka-receive nga siya. Tapos, nag-credit siya ng rent revenue. Ito yung ginawa na entry in the amount of 12,000 pesos. So, ang ginamit niya is income method. So, since hindi naman totoo na revenue niya yung 12,000 for 2000B, dapat tanggalin natin 'to. Kailangan natin siyang i-adjust para mag-reflect yung totoong balanse ng rent revenue is dapat wala itong 12. So, para para ilagay yung entry or para magkaroon tayo ng adjusting entry para dito sa rent revenue, so tanggalin natin 'to. Debit tayo ng rent revenue of 12,000 and then credit tayo ng liability account kasi nga naka-receive tayo ng pera pero hindi pa naman 'yun para sa 2000B, para sa next year pa 'yun. So, dapat liability natin. So, ang tamang term dito is advances from customers. Advances from customer na 12,000. This is a liability account. So, nag-reflect na or na-update na natin rent revenue natin which dapat wala yung 12 and then meron tayong liability or advances from customer na 12,000 pesos. So, this type of adjustment is deferral. So from this given, masasagot na natin yung question niya sa number 1 or yung requirement number 1 natin, magkano daw yung amount for our revenue. Sabihin yung revenue natin is 528,000 pesos. Yun yung answer natin for letter A. Now let's proceed to salary expense. So letter D, cash payment made on January 2000B for employee salaries earned on December 2000A. So nangyari dito sa letter D, binayaran natin yung pasweldo sa mga empleyado January 2000B. Pero yung sahod na yon is para pa yon last year, December 2000A. Pero ngayon lang natin na record. So since yung pinag-usapan natin is for year 2000B, dapat tanggalin natin itong 4,000. Kasi nga, para pa ito sa 2000A of December. So, dapat dito na tayo na side ha, tayo na column for our salaries expense. Ibig sabihin, wala dapat itong 4,000 dito sa ating salaries expense. Kasi nga, for last year pa yon. Hindi natin siya pwedeng i-record. Kailangan ba ng adjustment? Yes, kasi nagkaroon siya ng entry. Sige, balik tayo. Ang question pala 'no, kailangan ba daw natin magkaroon ng adjusting entry at the end of 2000B? So, to answer that, wala tayong adjusting entry. Pero dapat nagkaroon siya ng adjusting entry noong 2000A pa, so last year. Wala tayo ditong adjusting entry. Siyempre kung walang adjusting entry, kasi dependent itong question na ito dito. So, wala tayong accrual or deferrals. Again ha, hindi natin record kasi nga last year pa yan. Letter E, salaries incurred and paid during 2000B debited to salary expense. So, naka-incur daw tayo at nagbayad during 2000B. So, dapat kasali itong 62,000 sa ating salaries expense. And then, kailangan pa ba natin ng adjusting entry? No, kasi nga, na-incur and binayaran natin siya. Incurred and paid. Nagamit at saka binayaran. Kailangan ng adjusting entry. Next. Letter F. Salaries earned by employees on December 2000B will not be paid until January 2000 and C. So, naka-earn na daw yung employees natin ng salaries on December 2000B, pero hindi pa natin binabayaran. So, ibig sabihin, meron pa tayong utang sa empleyado. Again, that is for 2000B. Babayaran natin next year, 2000. And na-incur natin siya, 1000B. So, dapat add natin siya 6,000 pesos. And then, kailangan ba ng adjusting entry? Yes. Is it accrual or deferral? Since magre-record tayo ng liability for the incurred expense, sabihin, accrual yung ating type of adjustment. So, tatanong kayo kung anong entry natin para dyan. Debit lang tayo ng salaries expense. And then, credit tayo ng salaries payable of 6,000 pesos. Letter G, cash advance to employees on December December 2000B for salaries that will be earned next year, January 2000C, debited to advance to employees of 1.5. So, ang nangyari dito sa letter G, binayaran natin in advance yung ating mga empleyado. Pero dapat sa January pa yun. Pero ngayon natin sila binayaran. So, nag-debit siya ng advances to employees, which is a receivable account. It is an asset account. So, tama yung ginawa niya. So, since um, yung salaries na yun is for next year pa, hindi natin siya isasama dito. Kasi nga, next year pa siya. Ito, 2000 siya kasali. Kailangan ba ng adjusting entry? No, kasi nga hindi siya kasali. At saka tama naman yung entry na ginawa, debit to advances to employees, and then nag-credit ng cash. Kasi nagbigay ng cash doon sa mga empleyado. So, no. So, then wala. So, masasagot na natin yung requirement number 1 for letter B, magkano salaries expense for 1000B. Ang answer natin is 68,000 pesos. And lastly, for our maintenance supplies expense, ang nandito sa HI and J, mga nangyari para sa ating maintenance supply is inventory. So, ang beginning balance ng ating maintenance supply inventory is 3,000 beginning balance. That is the ending balance from 1000A last year. Then letter I, maintenance supplies purchased for cash during 2000B. Nag-debit tayo ng maintenance supply inventory when purchased, 8,000. And then meron tayong ending inventory of 1,700 pesos. So, para i-solve, so no, ang sabi sa problem, meron daw tayong ending balance. So, kung tatanungin tayo, magkano yung amount dito ng ating maintenance supplies expense, compute muna natin. For example, gawa tayo ng T account for our maintenance supplies inventory. Ayun muna, nakasulat sa gilid. Dito tayo sa T account or yung ledger ng ating maintenance supplies inventory. Sabi daw dito, may given tayo na beginning balance of 3,000. Tapos, nag-purchase, ibig sabihin na dagdagan ng 8,000. Tapos, ang sabi sa problem, meron daw ending balance, yung remaining amount ng ating inventory of 1,700. Ang question ngayon, magkano yung na-expense o yung nagamit na? Magkano ito dito? Naman kasi yung na-expense. So, compute natin. 1,700, pabalik tayo. Bawas natin yung 8,000 and ibawas natin yung 3,000 para makuha itong amount dito sa kabila. So, yung answer natin dito is 9,300. Sabihin, ito yung beginning balance, ito yung purchase, so dinagdag, ito yung nagamit, 9,300. Therefore, yung remaining na lang is 1,700 pesos of merchandise, maintenance, supplies, inventory. Pero yung tanong, balik tayo sa tanong. Tanong is magkano daw yung expense natin. Yung expense natin is punta 9,300. So, kung Sasagutan natin yung ating requirement number 2 for letter H. Hindi kailangan ng adjusting entry kasi nga beginning lang naman bigay. Kailangan ng entry or adjusting entry for purchases kasi nga nagkaroon naman na siya ng entry. Then for letter J, yung sa letter J, ang binigay niya yung ending in inventory. So sa letter J, magkakaroon tayo ng adjusting entry. Bakit po? So 'di ba kanina sa letter J, nagkaroon siya ng entry, nag-debit siya ng merchandise maintenance supplies inventory of 8,000 tapos nag-credit siya ng cash malamang. So to reflect the true balance of our maintenance supply inventory and then yung ating expense na 93, dapat magkaroon tayo ng adjusting entry kasi nga nandito sa ating T account, for example, ito lang naman yung makikita natin, itong at saka 11,000. Since hindi na totoo na 11,000 yung ating merchandise, maintenance supplies inventory, dapat i-adjust natin 'yan. Ito yung naging entry pag-purchase. Para sa ating adjusting entry, 'yan, ang ginamit is asset method, sabihin deferrals. Yung magiging entry natin or yung magiging adjusting entry natin para diyan is magde-debit tayo ng maintenance supplies expense natin magkano, 93. Tapos credit tayo ng maintenance supplies inventory of 9,300. Kasi 'pag na-credit na ito, magkakaroon ka na lang ng 1,700 na maintenance supplies inventory. Sana naintindihan niyo at ulit-ulitin niyo kung hindi man naintindihan yung ating explanation. So, kung meron kayong mga questions, feel free na mag-chat sa ating GC para masagot ko before tayo mag-midterm exams. Para sa mga MWF na schedule, on Friday will be our midterm exam and for the TTH, Thursday yung ating midterm exams. God bless.